Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another unboxing video, and this is a new box set, a new edition, a new release from Cherry Red Records, but the HNE impression on this one, and the band is Strangeways. This is, it says Volume 1, that's interesting, so what else have they got? But this collects all 4 albums together, and this is British AOR, this is British melodic rock even, and this is a special release for me. I'm going to go through the box set and I'm going to be very honest in what I think. There is a couple of little criticisms about it, but overall I have to recommend it. But this includes, in here, I've already done a video on this album, the debut by Strangeways. You can find that in the link. It will be a suggested video at the end of this one. And the other one is this one, which is Native Sons. Now this is, many people will agree with me on this, I know they will, one of the best AOR albums ever. It's immaculate. I saw them on this tour. There was about 50 people in the audience. Terry Brock on vocals. Honestly, every single song is just unbelievable. If you're into A&R, and I mentioned the kind of, I went through this kind of gushing passion for Peter Goldwyn, didn't I? Because quite rightly so. But this, and I mentioned Strangeways in that video, and I mentioned it to him, that this is just brilliant. So this box set is important because it has all of those in. It has Strangeways from 85, Native Sons from 87, Walk Into the Fire from 89, all 3. Brilliant. And The Horse from 94, which was new to me, quite hard to find. Now the thing is with AOR, melodic rock, hair metal, ooh, don't like that phrase, don't, is that whereas in the 70s everybody just presumed that Britain produced the rock bands, the legacy bands, the Zeppelins, Purples, Jethro Tulls, Wishbone Ashes, Sabbaths, everything came out of the UK. Something happened in the 80s where, probably about 1983, 84, where everything came from the States or Canada, but mainly the US of A. And so all us record buying fans, when we went to Virgin, would go to the import racks and just look for the new imports for melodic rock, and Rock Candy Records have made a career out of reissuing all that music from that point. But the fact is, it was almost as if Britain couldn't do that. But we did. We had bands like Shy, Tobruk, Strangeways, but it almost as if the fans thought, like, oh, they're from Britain, so it's not quite as good, and they just didn't get the ground kind of support from rock fans. We just looked west all the time, and we just didn't look to what was right under our own noses. And so this is a great way to discover this band. So anyway, let's dive in and I'll show you what's in it. So this is a look at the Strangeways Complete Recordings Volume 1 1985 to 1994 box set on the HNE recording imprint, part of Cherry Red. Now, with all of my reviews, I want to be open and honest to what I personally think. Now, you've just heard me say how important I feel this band is to the history of melodic rock, or AOR. So this box set is something I've been looking forward to for a long time. And obviously, being a big fan, this is not going to be the first time I've acquired these recordings. So it's a clamshell box, a bit like all the imprints from Cherry Red, whether it's Caroline or Esoteric Records, all the different labels they use. The first thing I look at when I see inside is the first album, Strangeways, and this is my one. It might be different if you buy it, but it's kind of, the artwork is not quite as realistic or as sharp as the original vinyl. And if you think, well, that's probably just because I've got an original vinyl, the actual Rock Candy version is also kind of much, I think, sharper than that. Sound wise, compared with the Rock Candy one, I could sense no difference. And this has the same bonus track, so it's exactly the same length to the second. So I'm not quite sure who's done the remastering, but it sounds exactly the same. The next one also, the reproduction of the colours is a little bit off. If you look at the quality of the black and white pictures, and also on the rock. This isn't Rock Candy. It's a Majestic Rock Records from a few years back. Remastering, it sounds beautiful. It was a beautiful sounding album anyway. So there's nothing different there. Now this one does have different tracks. On the one I had, it had 4 bonus live tracks, and on this new release, those are there, plus a single edit for Only a Fool, Goodnight LA, and Dance with Somebody, which is an AOR mix, which is new. The next one is Walk the Fire, and again the reproduction of the artwork compared with Rock Candy's is a little bit washed out and blurred. But again, here we get the same demo tracks, of which there were 4, but on the new release, the Cherry Red one, we also get 2 live tracks as well. The key thing for me buying this set and getting this set and it being part of my collection is this, which is And the Horse from 1994, because I hadn't heard this before and I hadn't got it. It's not got Terry Brock on vocals. It's great. It's still a good album. It was adapted into the 90s and the place that he found himself in. So Ian Stewart on guitar was obviously adapting, doing all the lead vocals. It's a great album, and this, to me, made this box set essential. As I've mentioned before, I don't like these kind of things, and I know Esoteric will do a booklet for everybody, and many of the others, Caroline, do, etc. But I think H&E sometimes decide that it's easier, more cost effective, to do these kind of fold out posters with a bit of contemporary views on the back. But it would have been great to have had something from from Dave or Ian Stewart talking about how this came together, their thoughts looking back on all the years, because there have been some recent box sets from H&E, like the Fandango one and Vandenberg, which had booklets in them. So I know sometimes they do that. Maybe Strangeways just didn't have the kind of value from previous sales to think it was worth doing that. But that's my only criticism, and that's because of who I am and how I like these things. But is it essential? Well, you get extra bonus tracks that weren't on Rock Candy. The remastering sounds immaculate, just the same. And of course, you get And the Horse from 1994, which you can't get. And if you're trying to buy these via Rock Candy, you're looking at probably about £12-15 each. And this, you can get all 4 recordings in a nice little box, for a lot cheaper than that. And it's a great set. So that's my observations of looking at the box. So as you could see there is a few misgivings about some of the production values aesthetically to do with the package, but musically, to have all these in one place is brilliant. The sound, the remastering is great, and to all of you out there are thinking, I'd love to discover some new melodic rock. Seriously, things with Dance with Somebody, Only a Fool, So Far Away, Where Do We Go From Here, Goodnight LA, as good as anything that Journey did. Empty Street, Stand Up and Shout, this is from Native Sons. Shake the Seven, Never Gonna Lose It, Face to Face, brilliant, absolutely one of the best AOR albums, and it's in this box. The follow-up, Walk Into the Fire, is good. I've already covered the first Strangeways albums with a different vocalist, but when you hear that, it's like, those days when it could be days, you buy an album and as each track, sometimes I used to put the needle down at the start of each track to get a feel for what I'd bought. And on this one, every single of that first album, every single track was killer. Well, it's killer, no filler, as the saying became, and it is the same with that. And so I'm Walking the Fire. But for me, having And the Horse at last, which is a more bluesy rock album, is great. And so Strangeways, the complete recordings, out now on Cherry Red H&E Records, and well worth a punt. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for being here, thank you for all of your support and your messages, and I shall see you on my next video.